dropped in a lift, in an accelerating lift, what is the time taken by the ball to reach certain point in a lift? So these are the particular questions what we'll be discussing. So I'll start with this one. A ball is released from rest at no, the ball is released from rest. Where do it will strike here? I'll assume that it will strike the I'll still assume that it will come and strike the floor of the lift. Sir, how you can say? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm just assuming it. So this will be the floor, this will be ceiling. Whether we are right or wrong, we'll decide the time. After some time, they will have displacement. I'll assume the same thing. SBL, the same formula. SBL. This is the one I'm trying to make this a very simplified one. Using this formula. Any problem you can solve with this method. Finally, okay, this is again the final. I'm assuming that the ball will come and strike it. This happens at time t. Now once again, sir, why it will strike the floor only? Why can't it will strike the ceiling? I don't know. I am assuming the ball will strike the floor and I'll solve the problem. If I get negative, then what I do? My assumption is wrong. Then after some time t, we'll substitute all the values. This will be plus h finally. Plus h, because anything directed downward will be positive, anything directed upward will be negative. I think the previous one, what I made. It should be negative sign. Okay, fine. We'll start this one. So why you are writing this plus h? At equals 0, ball is here. After some time, the ball will come and strike here. From the origin, at what distance the ball is? At a distance h. And at what distance the floor is? Also h. So both positive, and anything directed downward is positive. Fine. Next again, we will write this final. Initially where the ball is at a distance -10. I'll use some other color font. Make notice of it. And this is 0. Equal to initially both are released from, both will start from rest 0, 0. T plus acceleration of ball plus 10 downward, acceleration of lift plus 11. So why this is plus 10? How the G for the ball will be? Weight of the ball will act, and due to that it will fall freely inside the lift. Then why this plus 11? There's an acceleration of the lift. Then this will be 0. Ten minus 11. This will be minus t square by 2. We have really very important information. So I'm getting t square minus 20. What does it mean? Or t is equal to root of minus 20. So what we did is right, not possible. Huh? Time cannot be negative. So what we assumed is wrong, or ball will not strike the floor of lift. Then what it should strike? It should strike the ceiling of the lift. This is very, very important. Time cannot be negative. Time should not be negative. Are you getting no? So like this, the mathematics is will help us whether we are right or wrong. Okay, fine. So then what should happen? In fact, this is wrong. Wrong idea or wrong assumption. Wrong assumption. Then what will happen? Yes. What we do is like it. In fact, the ball will be striking the ceiling. I'll write it this way. Okay, this will be ceiling. This will be floor. So this is a situation. So ball, what happened? Will be striking the ceiling. Initially, ball is here. Will come and strike the ceiling. Sir, how do we can justify this? Yes, already we have discussed this one. No? It will not strike the floor, so it is going to definitely going to strike the ceiling here. Now we'll write down the same equations. Then here instead of H, capital H, I'll write it. Small h already used. Some other symbol let me use here. The same set of formula. We are not going to change anything now. Complete all the relative accelerated motion. The formula will be same. I think visible. Yeah, we'll proceed. Write down the equations on the quantity. Again, it will be plus h, capital H. And now you have to ask questions, sir, why these are positive? Why they are positive? You see this one, the floor of the lift. Earlier it was here at origin. After some time t, it has descended. No, how much of I descended? Plus h. And why positive? Downward, I'm taking positive. Then look at the ball. Ball. What is the final position of the ball will be? Sorry, initial position of the ball will be minus 10, 0, t plus acceleration of the ball plus 10 downward. So plus 10. Depth of the lift is how much? It is also depth of the lift is also will be downward. So plus 11 p square by 2. Okay, from this part. What is L? I defined it here. Let me indicate that L. Previous problem. No, no. What is the initial position of L? The L, the same L is here. Ceiling, that one. The ceiling only. So instead of using word ceiling, with respect to ceiling of the lift, we are writing the equation there. Earlier, with respect to floor, it went wrong. Everything is wrong. What we assumed is now we are trying to do for the second part of the problem. No, initially at t equals 0, what is the position of the ceiling from the reference? Will be minus 20, no? Better distance of minus 20 meters. So that has to be substituted here. Minus 20. So this will become 0. So this will be plus 10, plus 20 minus 10 plus 10 equal to minus t square by 2. So this will be equal to how much? T equal to root 20 seconds. Time we got positive. So t positive, what does it mean? The ball will strike the means what we assumed is right. This what you have to time positive means we'll conclude in this way. Means what we assume that the ball will strike the ceiling. We got the time positive. So therefore, so what we assumed is right. So whether we are right or wrong, who will determine the sign? Because time should always be positive. So like this, what happened? The relative velocity will be using these conditions. This is something very, very important. Everyone should able to understand this. In books, you don't have this discussion. Just directly they'll assume that no, you should think like this to solve the problem. No, whatever you want, you think it and verify whether it's right or wrong. Now I'm showing the complete description. Look at here once. So we assume that initially ball will strike the floor of the lift. Then we had a discussion and we have got the T negative, which is not possible. Then we assume that the ball will strike the ceiling. Then we got the time positive. So therefore, what we assumed is right here. Then again, we can find out the velocity of ball left. Now, with what speed ball will be moving when striking. The same set of formulas. There's a one very important. Student has to really learn. One problem, if you learn it, remaining things you can manage. I really explained very slowly so that students can really understand.